Did it feel like a setback in any way, given just kind of how things are structured for the rest of the way for you guys?
I don't think it's a setback, man, because it's still basketball. We still get to play basketball. We still get a chance to make it to the playoffs. So it's never a setback when you have that.
When you're looking at your game and maybe reviewing film, what's the thing that stands out for you individually that is kind of maybe the most worrisome?
I ain't worried about shit, man.
Yeah.
Hell nah. I ain't worried about nothing, man. I wasn't starting this year. I started. Coach got fired. Fox got traded. I became a starting point guard. I don't think you could prepare for that without knowing. Yeah. So I'm fine. I know I got to be better. I know I got to make some shots. Can't keep going 0 for. Can't keep going 1 for 7 from the 3. And I definitely got to pick it up on the defensive end to start the games. So yeah, that's all I've been saying on film when I've been watching. Just me being more assertive until Keon and Jake get in. I feel like that's got to be my job.
From that standpoint, what's the challenge there? You know, trying to pick and choose when to be aggressive and when to flip for your own.
So I need to be aggressive when I come back in with JV and Jake and when Zach and Debo go get a break. Other than that, I got to be the point guard. It took me a little minute to get into my mind and change my mindset, but I'm here now, so that's what I got to do.
What's the biggest adjustment to taking on the starting point guard job for you?
Changing your mindset from being a scorer to getting everybody involved. Like for instance, if I come off a ball screen, somebody go under now, it's probably not the best to shoot this because ain't nobody touched the ball yet, and I feel like I got to get people involved. So it's just been my mindset.
You guys working on offense right there?
Everything. Okay. Everything. Yeah, for sure.
And for you, consistency. I know that was something that you talked about at the beginning of the year. Just like, it's been a roller coaster. Mm-hmm. How do we flatline this thing? Like, what's the key in that?
Not starting down in the first quarter.
Okay. Simple.
Yeah, that's all. And like I say, I got to do a better job at asserting myself on the defensive end and getting people involved on the offensive end, and I feel like it'll change if I do that.
And then you guys are going to be home for a while now.
Yeah, we got to put some wins.
So I was saying, is there a message to the fan base about the next week and a half?
Keep the energy up. Keep the energy up. We here. We love it. We love y'all. Just keep the energy up. We're going to turn it around for you.
We talk about sneakers.
Oh, yeah. They got released here yesterday. So, yeah, it's a big accomplishment. Peak is sponsoring a team back in Arkansas. 2 teams, actually, both of the high schools I went to. Then we're doing the school out here in Sac, too. We're giving them shoes, jerseys, everything like that. So, yeah, it's a big accomplishment.
I'm putting you on the spot, so forgive me if you don't know it. Do you know the school here in Sac?
Yeah, I know it, but I can't tell you right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since we talked about the challenges, I guess, what is the biggest optimistic thing that you've seen with this team, like, that gives you the most, maybe, encouragement that you guys are there to, as he called it, flatlining?
Yeah, that we won some big games before, and we've been in big games. About beat Denver, I wasn't playing, and Domas wasn't playing. So we be there. we right there, so that's the encouragement.
And you mentioned Domas. I mean, in that last game, I mean, obviously they were trying to rough him up. He's no stranger to physicality. How did that sit with you?
I mean, it's the NBA, man. You got to have guys out there to rough up the game, change up the game. I feel like JV do that for us. Trey do that for us. So you got to have guys to do that to other people on the team, and that's the joy of basketball. I love it. Domas don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
You mentioned wanting to see more consistency in yourself, but Coach expresses that he's got that confidence in you. He's sticking with you. How important is that for you?
Yeah, to have a head coach say that means a lot. It just take a lot of weight off my shoulders, knowing that he had the confidence in me, because I always have it. But yeah, it's great to hear that from him.
So who gives him the best challenge out there?
Who gives nobody? Look at him. He's just freaking bullying through a wall. Yeah.
Is it even tough for you? I mean, now he's obviously on your team, but
you guys watched us last year, 6-0. I think it's no secret.
How to that point, how are you feeling? It looked like that one was a little bit of a physical one for you.
I'm feeling good. You know, just making sure I'm on top of the injury, so you know, it doesn't happen again, stuff like that.
Teams do tend to try to signal you out sometimes. Did that one in particular bother you? Some of the treatment that you had?
No, you know, it's part of the game. I don't care. They can do whatever they want. Just play the game.
Yeah. How would you kind of assess? I know, Phoenix, you were in that game. Golden State, you weren't. Just how do you reflect on the 2 games there?
Not great. You know, overall everything, offense, defense. You know, it wasn't us. You know, there's a lot of stuff that we got to keep working on. You know, and trying to be consistent at.
You, Domas, how do you get back into the game shape? Like, do you feel like you're there yet?
No. I I wasn't trying to go as hard as I can. There's always a worry about re-injuring this injury. The statistics aren't in our favor. So I didn't want to do anything too sudden or anything, and just try to help my team win.
So for that, then, do you attack it differently now for the rest of the year? Like try to make sure that you're smart about it?
Yeah, for sure. Being smart and being on top of it. I can play through a lot of injuries. This is one that you have no control. So it was definitely a new territory for me.
No black eye.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When Ryan Dunn did kind of fling you or whatever,
Yeah.
you obviously felt something there. What?
It was probably just a reaction. I straightened my foot out. And just unnecessary.
Does that give you any kind of, I don't know, pause at all as you kind of go forward to where?
No, because it wasn't a basketball position I was in. It was caused by something else. So hopefully I don't get in those positions throughout again.
How do you? Obviously you have a lot of home games coming up. Just is there a curiosity in your mind about just where this team is at, given kind of what you put on paper over the past or on tape?
Yeah, of course. That's why you just got to play one game at a time. As we've seen, one game we're playing one way, the next game we're playing completely different. So we just got to focus in, lock in as a team. Everyone here is on the same mindset. Everyone wants to get better. We're all putting in the work. So we just got to take one game at a time, and it's Memphis tomorrow.
What do you attribute that to, the playing one way and playing another?
New guys, I don't even know, we're I can't tell you because I know we'd be figuring it out, but everyone's in the right mindset. We all love each other, and we want to go out there and figure this out.
What were the biggest issues against Phoenix defensively? Was it communication? What did you say?
We had turnovers, and we actually guarded them pretty well. At times, we just couldn't get the boards, so they had a lot of second chance points, which kind of created that lead.
Being back at home, what Sean said, how much is that a benefit for you guys, and how much? What's your message maybe to the fan base over the next week?
I love it. I love playing in front of the fans. That brings us more juice, and we sleep in our own beds. We're here with everyone, so I'm hoping for us to come out and play high-level basketball.
What are you seeing in, obviously, some of these big leads that you kind of give up early and haven't kind of claw your way back? Do you see any kind of common thread there?
We usually, in these last games, we usually start turning the ball over or not getting good shots, which put us in worse positions to get back on defense.
How would you kind of reflect on these last two?
You mean like last 2 days, practice today? But
I guess coming into this practice, yeah.
that wasn't us. We had a nice film session. We talked about a lot of different things today that I thought were very beneficial to where the guys need to be mentally, talking to them about some of their recent performances and looking at some of the prior performances and the spirit that you have to have, the joy that you have to have, the aggressiveness that you have to compete at that level. And I think they agreed, and then they came out and had a spectacular practice. So I'm happy for that. This is about process right now, and the process, the byproduct will be the outcome we're looking for. But the process must be proper. That's who I am and what I need from them every single night.
Seeing that kind of reception by them to that message, is that among maybe the most encouraging things as you kind of step forward, especially with such a home-heavy schedule with some pretty steep opposition?
Yeah, the steep opposition doesn't really – all that is a test for who you are and what you're about as a team. That's not really actually, I would rather that than playing people who you're supposed to beat, and then that's even worse when you go out and you don't have a really good performance than when you go out and you compete at a high level and team is number 1 or 2 in the NBA, and whether you beat them or not, but you're trending in the direction that you need to trend in to get the results that you want to get as an organization. And that's really where we start. And in these last few games, it hasn't been that. And they understand that, and I would expect something different out of them.
When you look at the last game, they were really physical with Sabonis. You had the issue with Plumlee and then Ryan Dunn. Is there anything you want to see differently from your team in those moments, like how they respond to when their teammates are?
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't think anyone saw the Plumlee one. But yeah, we not about that. Like if somebody touches our guy, it could turn into something, and that's really like what I expect out of them the way that I want them to play will actually make a little bit of that happen. Not that that's what you want, but we always want to punch first. We always want to touch first. We always want to be the aggressor. We do not want to be reactionary. In those moments, I don't know. I didn't particularly see it, so I can't speak for the teammates, but he knows, and I told him, like, I'm not about that, so you never have anything to worry about from me. I got you 100 and 900 and 1,050% every time.
Anything stand out to you, be it similarities in these moments where you guys fall behind pretty early and having to claw your way out of big deficits?
Part of it is slowing down and getting organized. Because, like I showed them today, like, when we're organized, it's beautiful. And that's what I'm about, beautiful basketball. The problem is you got multiple people and we're trying to figure it out, and they're trying to play for their teammates, or they're feeling like I can do it. And that, not from a bad place, just from a hooper's standpoint. And what happens is guys aren't in positions. That means they're not in position to get back. That means they're not in position to rebound. That means if it's a bad shot, now it's a fast break, now it's a three, now it's a layup, and before you know it, you're down 12 or whatever. And those are things that we can't do. We continuously claw our way back, which tells me that if you start the right way and you play the right way, by the end of that game, we win by 12. Yeah. And it's just a must. But some of these things that we are going through, they're the ups and downs and the pain that you have to go through to get to where you want to go. As much as it hurts, as much as I'm a poor sport and hate to lose, but they will be better.
Yeah, and along those lines, I mean, you talked about, I think it's apropos, the analogy of fixing the plane when it's in the air. Yeah. And I wonder, from your standpoint, after you especially get a bigger sample size of you guys together, trade deadline in the past, how much do you have to simplify or overly simplify things to maybe see results of various things you want to see, before you can take the bigger step forward?
Yeah, when I took over the very first practice in Los Angeles, I did something that kind of set the baseline for where we were at. It was simplifying along with some other things, and I did it again today, because as I look back, like, you can get lost in the sauce of what, you're trying to win, you're trying to put people in the right positions, but there's also a whole new team sitting over there, and they need to understand the same thing that original team did in Los Angeles. And today I gave them that, and from there we built. There's a confidence, there's an understanding. There are a lot of different things that come with what I told them today, and I think that they accepted it well, and then they went out and practiced at a high level.
To Sean's question, you guys are going to be at home for a good amount of time right now. Just how key is it to not only win at home and protect your home court advantage, but also get the fan base just revigorated for the last month of the season?
I'm big on our fan base. I want them to feel like we hear them, we fight for them, we play for them, because it's such a special environment that we haven't got to the specialness, in my opinion, of our environment yet. We've seen it here and there, and even in the playoff. Like, it was great, but I've experienced it. And once that thing jumps off, it takes on a life of its own, and that's why people don't come in your house and mess around. And that's always my message to them. This is our home, this is our family, and if somebody comes in your house messing with your family, what do you do? And they've responded to that. Is it going to be that way every single time? No, we like I said, we're working it. But at the same time, there's a level and an expectation and a baseline of who we are that is an absolute must. It does not change whether we're at home, whether we're on the road, whatever it is. We punch first, we hit first, we fight first. That's how it is. And I think that invigorates our fan base. That gets our fan base excited. And the winning and all of that comes with that is the byproduct of those steps.
Coach, Malik said that he's continued to feel that you're expressing confidence in him with whatever you're comfortable. What has been your message to him over these last few days?
Just for him to understand during the first stint what is expected of him. We talked off practice, called him, and we had conversation, and then we talked today in front of everybody. He is learning to do what we need him to do, and he is so talented that he can do a lot of different things. But what is being asked of him right now, if you don't have parameters and you don't have understanding, it can be difficult. And for him, I have so much respect for him. But first and foremost, he's willing to take on the challenge because it's difficult. There's a big expectation. And I think that going forward from this day, I think we will see a better Malik. In my opinion, he was a Sixth Man of the Year last year. There is that part of his game that we still need as well, but it's not in the first 5 minutes of the game. And those are the defining elements for him that give him the direction that he can be the best version of Malik Monk that these people go crazy about. And I love, till the end. So I'm excited for him on that standpoint.
You mentioned after the game you wanted to see that fourth quarter version of Zach all the time.
Yeah.
How much of that falls on him and you and the other players to make sure you're getting that out of him consistently?
Well, I think that the last question goes hand in hand with that. Like, as a point guard, you have to find out how to get that. But there's a part of Zach, there's a part of DeMar that has to come out and be aggressive in a way that sets the table for everybody. That doesn't mean that you shoot every ball. That means that you're aggressive and your gravity causes the gym to shift from one side to the other. And when that happens, you get off the ball. And the next time that you did that, now they give up a little bit. Now you are aggressive offensively. So there's layers to it, but those guys are some of the best that we've ever seen in our league. So it's not that they can't do it. It's that they almost to a fault are trying to find their way for their teammates, and there's a lot of respect in that as well.
Coach, obviously, you would love to coast into the postseason with a, easy, schedule, but having that is going to be a challenging way to the end. Do you see that in any way as being beneficial to you guys?
Yeah. I mean, before you got here, I kind of addressed the fact that I actually wouldn't have it any other way, because that's where we're going to find out about ourselves. You can play well against so-so competition, and then when you play against really good competition, you get hit in the mouth and you understand, well, what just happened. Well, we're going to be facing the best of the best, back-to-backs, 4 and 5, 3 and 4, whatever it is. And we have to find our rhythm inside of that. We have to find our aggression inside of that. We have to set the tone and establish home court inside of that. And all of those things that I just mentioned are playoff based. So for us, it's like probably, the universe gives you everything. The universe is saying, here it is. Go get it. And I think that we got a group of guys that are willing to step to the plate in that opportunity.